Okay, thanks, mate. Hey, mate, you alright?
Okay, good morning everyone. If we could continue to follow the same format please. If you wish to ask a question, please raise your hand. We'll start with broadcasters, move to a written section, and then we'll do an embargoed section for the Sundays, if that's all okay please. Mark, if you're able to kick us off please from Sky.
Good morning, Dean. Can you hear me?
Morning, Mark. Yeah, I've got you, mate. Thank you.
Fantastic. Good stuff. Dean, Norwich, 4 unbeaten, no defeats in 3 matches since you arrived at the football club, and you're off the bottom of the Premier League. I guess that would go down as a really good, solid start for you. How much have you enjoyed the first few weeks at the helm?
Yeah, I've really enjoyed it. It's a reasonable start. We felt that we've probably left some points out there, if we're honest. Newcastle going down to 10 men after 10 minutes. We could have been better with the ball, and we certainly felt we should have performed a lot better, which would have seen us with with a victory there. But it wasn't to be. But as you said, it's a solid start, and we certainly look hard to beat. I can't remember, apart from the penalty, Newcastle having many chances. The same we can say about Wolves and the second half performance against Southampton as well. So, the first ask to the players was to become harder to beat, and we've certainly done that.
It was always going to be a tough challenge when you went in at Norwich, but from what you've seen in these early stages, has it given you enough belief to say, I can keep this team in the Premier League?
Yeah, I mean, when I looked at the squad, when I sat down with Stuart and Neil, I felt that the squad was capable and probably underperforming at the time. And, if they start putting in performances like they're doing, then they can get results. And, performances are the thing for me that build up the confidence. And they seem to be doing that now. They seem to be more than a confident enough group to go and get results. And, long may that continue.
Up next, the big challenge in Spurs. What's the Norwich City team who's ahead of the game?
Yeah, we've got a couple of injury doubts. Matthias Norman, he's had an injection into his pelvic area to, help him get back a little bit quicker. So I'm hopeful that he will be back the following week for Manchester United. Unfortunately, Milo Rashica, we felt it was just a slight groin, but he's had a scan and it's a little bit more significant. So he's going to be out for probably 3 or 4 weeks, I think, which is a bit of a blow. And Zimbo is still out as well.
And in terms of the players that are available for you, and as you've shown in previous matches, you're not afraid to make changes at half time. You're not afraid to drag players. You're not afraid to say, if you're not playing and doing what I want you to do, I'll make a change. And I guess that's part of the mantra for you. There's no guarantees for any of those players in your squad, whether they're big names or not.
No, that's the thing. I've come in, myself and Shaky have come into Norwich, and we haven't got any emotional attachments or anything to any of the players. We just see the game as it is, and if we need to make changes, we make changes. Whether that be for performance related or tactically related. Young Brandon Williams, who was doing okay, we felt that he needed to come off, and we needed a left footer on that side at that time. So we'll make changes as we see fit.
Up next, Spurs. What have you made to Antonio Conte's arrival in North London? He certainly had the desired effect with making them hard to beat, being defensively solid and picking up points, and perhaps changing that mentality around the football club that was in a bit of a negative spiral.
Yeah, I think the way they play now is a little bit different as well. I mean, I've looked at their physical stats over the last 3 or 4 games since he's come in, and they've all risen dramatically. Their high-speed distance, their total distance, their sprint, the amount they're sprinting now is, and you can see him driving that on from the sidelines. He knows how to get teams to win. He won the Premier League with Chelsea. He won Serie A last season with Inter Milan. He's a real top coach and a good guy as well.
You talk about him being animated on the side of the pitch. How much are you expecting him to be like that this weekend? And how do you keep your equilibrium when he's going, crazy and trying to drive his team on, but you're very calm, very different on the side of the pitch.
Yeah, I mean, he's not going to change. That's the way he coaches, and it works for him. We're all different in the way we do it, and I'll coach the way I coach, and hopefully we can go and put in a good performance.
And finally, for me, just a quick word on the game itself. Harry Kane clearly struggling in front of goal, but would it be anyone in Norwich City's worst doing to underestimate the type of player and striker he is?
I don't think anybody can underestimate the type of player he is. His goal scoring record speaks for itself, whether that be for club or country. And he's had a good chance last night, but the goalkeeper's made a really good save. But he's just a really all-round good player. And just reading the reports last night, Antonio Conte is very happy with his performance levels at the moment. So we certainly won't underestimate him.
Thanks very much, Dean.
Cheers, Mark.
This meeting is being recorded.
Thanks, Mark. If we could go to Niv, please, from PLP. Niv.
Hi, Dick. Morning.
Morning, Niv.
Was wondering, obviously the games are coming thick and fast for everyone, all of the teams, but I was wondering the fatigue levels within the squad at the moment.
The what, sorry, the fitness levels?
The fatigue levels, the tiredness.
Oh, the fatigue levels. No, listen, we're like any modern day football club now, and one of the biggest things that within the football clubs is the recovery rates, how we can get the players to recover as quick as possible. And we're as modern as any club, and the players understand the process now that's needed to get them ready for the next game, and they're following all the processes.
And some discussions recently about the quality of managers involved in the Premier League. How do you see it personally facing a manager like Antonio Conte?
Yeah, I look forward to it. I see it as a good challenge. A lot of respect for him, what he's done in the game. He's a very successful head coach, and one who's driving his players onto better performances at Tottenham at the moment. So we have to make sure that we get a good performance.
And last one for me, please. How do you see the team's progress under your management? 3 games in, 5 points. What is the next step for Norwich?
The next step is to go and create more chances. I think we've become harder to beat. We're having less big chances against us. I think we're defending very well as a team, not just a goalkeeper and a back four. We're protecting our goalkeeper really well. But the next side of it is being braver on the ball, having more possession and creating bigger chances.
Thank you.
Thanks, Steve.
Thanks, Niv. Michael, please, from The Athletic.
Morning, Dean.
Morning, Michael.
Just to expand on the 2 injuries, I
The
mean,
recording has stopped.
with Milot, that is obviously a big blow because he was just starting to find some form.
Yeah, he was. As all injuries tend to become a blow, and you have to have a squad to fill the places for those players that come out, and we've got players that we feel that can fill the void. And while it is a blow, there's opportunities now for others to step up.
Yeah, sure. With Matthias, is that obviously with the hope that the injury will improve and therefore he won't need surgery, or was that is that sort of a difficult decision given he's sort of specialist?
No, I mean, he went to see the specialist, and it was under the advice of the specialist. I don't think there's anything actually wrong with the injury. It's just pain management at the moment. So they're looking to manage that pain and get him out playing again. If that continues, then obviously they'll have to look at that further down the line.
Cool, brilliant. Just one more reflection on the game on Tuesday night. I know I asked you about the penalty incidents at the time. It was notable, obviously. I know Newcastle were at home, so it's probably easier to appeal for things. But on reflection, is there kind of a missed opportunity with the players not maybe putting more pressure on some of those decisions at the time, or is there anything you can do as a head coach in that scenario?
No, I don't think there is. I'm not sure. Many of our players saw the handball incident from Christos's header, which, on reflection looks like it's going in, and it hits the lad's arm. Very quickly with what you say after the game, it can They can be it can get misquoted because I actually didn't call the decision pathetic. I actually called the process pathetic. Yeah, I think clear and obvious is meant to be more of an objective nature, but unfortunately it's becoming more subjective now. And clear and obvious, if it takes 90 seconds for me, I just feel that's becoming more subjective, and that's where the responsibility lies with the on-field referees.
Yeah, fair enough. At least it wasn't me who misquoted you.
No, it wasn't. No.
Did you watch? Well, I'm sure you did watch Spurs against Brentford last night. What did you make of that game?
I thought Spurs started really well. They were pushing forward at every opportunity in the first half. It looked like there was a little bit of a drop off in the second half, and there was a spell where Brentford put them under pressure, and then they scored a real good transition goal to make it 2-0, and from there it was pretty much game over. But Tottenham were good last night.
I mean, it kind of underlines the different threats, I suppose, doesn't it? Because they had a lot of pressure, but then the way they scored that goal in the second half, if you give them that space to counter like that, it doesn't take a lot.
No, and when you've got players like Son and Moura and Harry Kane as your front three, they can score all types of goals.
And just finally for me, if I may, I know you were at the under-23s game, I think the first week in charge, and you were at the FA Youth Cup game on whatever night that was. It's been a long week.
Yeah.
But I mean, what have you made of the academy setup? I know you've got a lot on your plate with the first team, but just from those games and sort of maybe how it compared to your perceptions before you got here.
No, I've been impressed. I mean, I thought our 18s were unfortunate against Stoke. Took a really good early lead, and I think a goal knocked the stuffing out of us, and a couple followed in quick succession. But the second half, it was it looked like it was only going to be us who scored the next goal, but unfortunately that didn't come. But I've seen the 23s in action as well, and there's some players to like in there. So I'm liking what I'm seeing so far.
Okay, that's brilliant. Cheers, Dean.
Thanks, Michael.
Thanks, Michael. Nick from PA, please.
Morning, Dave.
Morning, Nick. You okay?
Yeah, greetings from the West Midlands. How you doing?
Yeah, I'm good. Thanks, mate.
Good. I just want to ask you about Taylor. Fantastic finish on at Newcastle. Just how have you found working with him?
Yeah, really enjoyed it. He's one that I knew was a good player, but I probably didn't realise how good a player until you actually work with him. His work rate, his quality of his finishing, the quality of his runs, and he sets the tempo at the front for us. So I've been really pleased with what we've got, and he's setting a standard now for the others to follow.
He's carried so much on his shoulders over the last 2 or 3 years in particular. How much more help does he need?
He needs help, but looking at Timo and speaking to Timo, you wouldn't know he was carrying such a weight on his shoulders. He seems a real level-headed, laid-back guy who wants to work hard for the team. But we know we can't be over-reliant on just one goal scorer in the team. We need goals from other areas, and the players know that as well.
Is it something that you've tried to address at Colney? Have you spoken to the guys? I mean, it's only been 3 other players who have scored in the league for them this season.
Yeah, no, we've spoken about it. That's why the importance of set pieces also come into play. Grant scored in our first game against Southampton, and if we can go and be a little bit more creative in them areas, then we will get goals from other players.
How do you manage Tamu as well? Because I think certainly towards the end of the last Premier League season, he was done. He was incredibly tired, and the work that he does just not the goal scoring. How can you manage him now? Because obviously he's 2 years older than he was last time in the Premier League.
Yeah, I think what helps is the fact that you say he's 2 years old. He's had the experience already of playing in the Premier League for the full season. He's got the experience now of another year in the Championship as well, where he's done really well, and he understands his own body. We help him along the way. The setup here, sports science wise, is really good to help players recover and understand where their body's at. You know, the nutrition as well. So, you know, we're helping him to manage himself, but he's experienced enough now to know how to manage himself as well.
Is it something you're keen to address in January as well? In terms of goal scorers cost a lot of money. January is ridiculous at the best of times. But
Yeah,
you're looking to address.
to be honest, I've not even looked at January or spoke to Stuart about January at all. You know, I'm still assessing the players that we've got here. Been really pleased with what we've got out of the players so far, and I still think there's more to come.
Really?
Sorry?
I know you're just in the door, but you know, a month ago, it's not been.
Yeah, no, I mean, you have to assess the players that you've got first and foremost, and you know, I think 3 games, but only 2 weeks here, so we're still assessing the players.
Lovely, great to see you.
And you, cheers, Nick.
Thanks, Nick. Okay, if we go to Jim, and then we'll do an embargo section with John West for the Sundays, please. Jim.
Hi Dean, great to speak to you again. Dean, just on Milot Razika, he came to Norwich City, a big transfer during the summer for the club. Scored an awful lot of goals for Werder Bremen in Germany, was wanted by Bayern Munich, was wanted by a host of European top clubs. Do you feel that Milos has the potential really to add goals to Norwich City, and has he the potential probably to play up top when he comes back from injury with Timo Pukki?
He's certainly got the ability to play anywhere across the front three. I'll probably see him his best position in a wide area, and speaking to him, he would see that as his best position as well. But he's a goal threat. He hasn't got his first goal yet for Norwich, but he will soon once he comes back from fitness. And you know, I've seen enough of him at Werder Bremen to know that there is a goal scorer within there, not just a goal scorer, but one that's going to create as well.
And I suppose, Dean, this has been a breakout year for Andrew Obadeli. Got broke into the Norwich first team, broke into the Republic of Ireland national team as well. Had some good performances as a centre back. What have you made of Andrew since your time coming at Norwich? And do you see him as a real potential cornerstone for this Norwich football team going forward?
Yeah, I do. He's a real top player. Been really pleased with what I've seen in training. I've watched him in a couple of games before. Obviously, you know, he played in the Brentford game. I went for a little bit more experience with Gibbo and Grant for the first game, and they did well and have done well ever since that. But they know that they've got to stay at the top of their game because they've got the likes of Andrew and Ozan Kabak who are pushing them at the moment.
And Dean, finally for me, it's been a tough year for Adam Ida, a prolific sort of player in the Championship for Norwich, but he's really struggled to make an impact in the Premier League. Have you spoken to Adam, in terms of what is expected for him to really try and deliver on his ability in terms of the Premier League?
Yeah, Adam knows what's expected of him. You know, there might be times when he gets the opportunity to play with Timo up front. Timo has set the standard at the moment, and Adam can see, you know, from the goals and the work rate that Timo's putting in, that's the standard that he needs to get himself to. There's certainly an awful lot of potential in Adam's ability from what I've seen so far. And, you know, he came on the pitch in the week against Newcastle and made an impact. And, you know, that's what I'm asking the players to do when they're called upon.
Cheers, Dean.
Thanks. Cheers, Jim.
Jim, thanks. Sorry, Paddy, if we could bring you in before the Sundays. Paddy Davitt, please.
Hey, morning.
Morning, Paddy. Okay?
Yeah, good mate, you?
Yeah, really good, thanks.
Good man. Cheers for your time as always. Just a couple more on the fitness squad side of it. Tom Cantwell, Dean, how are we looking for tomorrow?
Yeah, no, Todd's trained with us since we got back from Newcastle. He'd had a close contact and we just thought it was too risky until he'd had a PCR. So he's clear now, so we're happy for him to be training with us.
Okay, that's good news. And if I've got me fixtures right, I think the 23s are playing again, Reading this afternoon at Goldie. Sam Byram opportunity?
No, Sam won't play tonight. The plan was the 70 minutes on Monday, I think it was, and then to train with the lads and then build him up the following week as well. So he's building now to a 90-minute performance, but we're really pleased with his progress so far.
Rashica obviously is a blow, but you didn't have him midweek, and you went with young Jolis, who come in the summer with this reputation as, for his age, as maybe as good as anything in his position across Europe. But you obviously trust him because you started him midweek. But would you feel with such a young player, first time in England, first time in the Premier League, just need a little bit of patience with him?
Yeah, I mean, there's always going to be an adaptation period for players like Christos, and I gave him the start, and he had a couple of attempts during the game. I just felt we needed a little bit more from our wide players, but Christos understood that, trained the following day and trained really well. So, he's just getting used to what myself and Shaky are asking of him, and he's another young lad with bags of potential that will get better.
Yeah, I mean, you obviously like what you see in terms of the material you've got to work with that lad.
Yeah, I mean, we've got quite a few, Milo obviously injured at the moment, but we've also got Shemi as well, who's shown up in training really well. We've got Todd coming back as well now. We've got Kieran Dowell, who I've not seen loads of, obviously, because when I came here, he had a COVID-related issue. So, we have got the options there that we can go and play, and, that all I can say is at the moment they're really impressing in training, which is good. Their efforts and application has been good.
One guy you mentioned earlier, I wanted to get your thoughts on. Ben Gibson, he's a very open and honest lad whenever he does any media, and he said himself the Burnley situation went sour pretty quickly, and he feels he needs to prove he's a Premier League quality defender. Starting the season, he'd come off the back of ankle surgery and maybe he wasn't quite up to speed, but last few games, is it fair to say you've been delighted with what he's given you? I mean, we all know on the ball he's a very composed centre-back, but just in general, his play, how you enjoying working with him?
Yeah, no, I've enjoyed it. I brought him and Grant together for all three games, really. I just felt it's a pairing that, had played an awful lot together in the Championship, and they know each other's game, very experienced, and been really pleased with the messages and the what I've given them, and they've taken on board. Defensively, I think we've improved as a team, not just Ben and Grant, but as a team. And Gibbo can be pleased with his what he's given us so far in the 3 games. Got a really good number of blocks in. Defensively, I think we've defended our box really well. And as you say, I mean, he's got a hell of a diagonal on him as well.
Final one, just you asked about December. I think you're playing forward at top 8. Obviously Villa, we all know what that would mean. But can that work to your favour in terms of maybe outside the group, outside of Norwich, and if you support Norwich, the expectation isn't going to be there, and you and your lads just go about your business, and even in the type of games, it might well be that a little bit like the first 2 home games, those teams will have maybe a greater share of the ball, but as has been shown already, maybe that suits your players at this stage of you working with them.
Yeah, I mean, I see each game as a challenge, but one it's also an opportunity to make our mark as well. We're 4 games unbeaten, have gone the whole of November unbeaten, yet still we're probably labelled with outside noise as being a really poor team. And we just have to forget the outside noise and get on with what we're about. And we believe that we're Premier League players, a Premier League team, and we hope to show teams that we're going to stay up this season.
Cheers, Dave.
Thanks, Paddy. Thank you.
Cheers.
Thanks, Pad. Okay, John, if we could do the Sunday sections now.